Welcome to the Patriot Hour beta version. A few things we want to go over here today. We are going to be going over Q-Anon. If you don't know what that is, I will take a minute here to explain. So what we had is way back in October, the end of October, October 29th, 28th of 2017 here, is on 4chan, which is kind of an armpit of the internet. It's been around for several years, and the guy that invented that, it's basically just a forum. You log in, there's tons of different angles, but for this one, it's the political arena. And there's been tons of valuable, FBI, CIA. There's been dumps on there throughout the years that, I would say at least a dozen or so that have been verified and been, information that was being leaked from somebody in some position that didn't like what they were seeing, but, they were low level. You had people above them, and they knew, by the typical methods of turning things in that, evidence was being, compromised or messed with or tampered. So there's a lot of sifting through to go through on there. There's a lot of trolls, but this website here will basically it's compiled. It's all of Q-Anon or Q clearances post in chronological order. So I'll have a link for that down below. But here's his very first post. And then, so there's been tons of things. If you kind of, these are predictive posts. So who this Q guy is we suspect it could be, somebody very close to Trump in his inner circle. It's got to be, somebody that knows him, or like we said, is in the exact same room. How do we know this? Well, one of the posts early on, he was getting razzed and trolled, and who are you? What do you know? And we all know how Trump tweets every morning. This guy actually had posted in here one of Trump's tweets, about what I think it was 12 to 15 to 18 minutes before Trump actually tweeted it. So word for word, the meat of, Trump's tweet, this guy had posted on the 4chan, showing you or us like, hey, I'm in the same room. I'm right here. I'm really close to this guy. So some of these posts just like, we can stop on one here. I'd much rather, there's tons of videos on these old ones if you want to go back. I'm just kind of focusing on these newer ones that have, hit in the last 24 hours. But, you start looking here, Seth Rich, only mentioned because it directly relates to SA, Las Vegas. What hotel did the reported gunfire occur from? What floors specifically? Who owns the top floors? Top floors only. These are things that you need to start looking into. And if you look into them, you'll find some facts and truth. And then, days or weeks later, these things start kind of unfolding in the media. Look at this one here, the 113th post on November 5th. Social media platforms, top 10 shareholders of Facebook, Twitter, Reddit. MSN, mainstream media, controlling stakes in NBC and MSNBC. Who's controlling the stakes in ABC? Who's controlling, look into these things, people. What is Operation Mockingbird? Snow White, Godfather 3, Speed. November 6th, what, post 119 in chronological order. What is money flow disruption? List of the billionaires. What family history goes back pre-World War I and II? So let's get caught up to date here a little bit. Like I said, if you've been following, this guy's proved himself. So the other, on what was it, February 7th? Yeah, on the 7th, there's 3 big drops that Q dropped. We got some stuff here on John Perry Barlow, who was the internet pioneer, 1947 to 2018. It goes into like Seth Rich. Seth Rich was, he's the one that leaked. He was a patriot. He was working for the DNC. Younger guy, really, patriotic guy that, sat there and discovered through his, internet use throughout the DNC's secured network that they, somewhat secure because it was hacked. But he himself found that, the DNC was colluding against, which we all know now, Bernie, to make Hillary rise to the top of that, of the DNC's party to be the front runner. So they basically cheated Bernie. And he leaked all that stuff to WikiLeaks through their, drop, and was ousted. And then later, as we know, killed. And this guy was killed, like drugged up so bad that, walking back or dropped off and, in front of his house, and his neighbor came out, and this guy, Seth, was like shot 6 times. Didn't even know it because he was so drugged up. At Snowden, the clock is ticking. How's Russia, Mr. Contractor? Freedom of the press, John Perry Barlow. Secure drop whistleblowers. Secure drop clowns in America. Nobody's safe. So what this is referring to, for myself, even for many years, I thought, oh, Snowden, we needed to know these secrets. And yeah, that remains true. The meat of what he released is true. But why did he do it? Does it matter? Well, in this particular case, it does, because Snowden, according to things in the last several years, not just Q's post all of a sudden today, or, but this goes, back to that, it's come out now that Snowden was a CIA asset. He was implanted into the NSA through a front company that Snowden worked for, that Boost and, Borrow, or whatever the heck it was, Boost. But that was his front company, and he was implemented into the, NSA to do exactly what he did. Gather a bunch of stuff, put it onto a thumb drive, walk out with it, and then disclose it all. Because there is an inner battle between the intel communities, folks. There is a war going on between these different agencies for fundings for their yearly fund. They just want to, oust the other one. That's basically what they're doing here. So Snowden was trying to bring a lot of attention, or the CIA's plan was to bring a lot of attention to, the NSA, and let them deal with the aftermath of all the secrets and what they were doing and why. So that's just the gist of that, folks. So moving forward, and you can look into that. Then he goes into this Russia, my bad. This Chinese company, or there's some blowout. We're looking here at these windows. This window was open. This company was whether it was with the U.S. Backing, or I haven't looked into this one too much. But they rotated the thumb image here. They took some pictures. This window was open in, for a blowout. They were, doing a charge, and they didn't want all the windows to blow out. So they somebody was working with them on the inside, it looks like here with some of these photos. So that's, you have so much more power than you know. The future proves the past. News unlocks maps. Red October, Iron Eagle. A lot of movie references I've noticed. Military target square. So now we go to this post on the 7th, and this was at 20:55, which was, 8:55 p.m. This tweet they grabbed: please, the nation is on alert for Trump firing acting, AG Rod Rosenstein, a prelude to blocking progress in the Mueller investigation and eventually firing Mueller. So they're the left's pushing that he's going to be firing, Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, and then that'll lead to firing into Mueller. And that would be crossing the line. They're trying to get people to, if he does those two things, and that'll be it, man. That'll be the thing to get him impeached. That we need to draw a line so he can cross it. So, and then you look here, narrative shift, nation on alert, firing of Rod Rosenstein, block Mueller, firing of Rod Rosenstein, the equals set up to firing Mueller, firing Rod Rosenstein equals the red line. So what was the Senate, vote on the Rod Rosenstein? What did Rod Rosenstein, Ryan, to block the FISA memo from congressional review? These are just things that they're, letting you know. Some of the clearance levels. There's just, okay, so another interesting dump that happened. Some of these people want to get into, again at 2230, it was how many top medical researchers have been found dead in the past 5 years? Question mark. Why is this topic relevant now? Why does the U.S. taxpayer subsidize meds for the rest of the world? Well, that's because we have a surplus of money here, they think, and all of our tax dollars, and we're just rich compared to a lot of other countries. We know this. That's probably one reason, but I could just take a guess on that. The emergency messaging system has been tested more frequently in the past month? Question mark. Not only for all of us, but I think they're talking about the emergency, messaging systems within the White House and around D.C. So going back to these medical researchers, then he went on to, what if cures already exist? What about the billions of people in the public, private, and government sectors that are provided to get funds to find a cure? Sheep. These people are sick. When does big pharma make money? Curing or containing? Well, that's easy. That's in containing. Curing is a one-time, swing at the bat. Whereas, we need you to take these every day for the rest of your life and come see us every other week. That's just, so cancer, AIDS, mine will be blown by chain of command. And then we go here on the last post on February 8th, and the only two posts on February 8th were late after the 7th into the mid, at 2:45 in the morning. Panic in D.C., leverage depleted on the POTUS freed. President of the United States freed. Extreme chatter. Leverage depleted. We're starting to see the tides turn here, folks, for the leverage they've had on him with this whole, fake Russia narrative. USSS on high alert. United States Secret Service. Okay, so then we roll into yesterday, and there was, a video footage here. Appears to be, maybe a tarmac, a runway. Top 10 players. Suicide weekend. Ha ha ha. You wanted you. You are stupid. Can you sleep? We can help you. There was some dumps here, folks, that I'm still trying to even get through, but Wizards, Warlocks, Clown Black. So if you go here, JFK Con Room, and then they give you a website, www.cia.gov, /kids-page/games/break the code. So it looks like here it used to be, or it still is, a little link off the CIA's website for maybe kids to go on and crack some codes and test their skills. Would you believe this site actually used to be used for communications to rogue operators, assets of the CIA? Ask Snowden. So this is why they made that movie, folks. Or, Oliver Stone was even, tricked and baffled into this, or part of it, but to soften, to make you feel sorry for Snowden, and he was a patriot, and what he did was, you could still feel that way. That's fine. It doesn't make a difference, but it's like, hey, so they're making a reference to that right there. They're flat out making a reference to it. All right, you got right here. So then it says JFK Con Room. You kind of come down to February 10th here to this one. Rest in peace, Mr. President, JFK. Through your wisdom and strength, since your tragic death, patriots have planned, installed, and by the grace of God, activated the beam of light. We will forever remember your sacrifice. May you look down from above and continue to guide us as we ring the bell of freedom and destroy those who wish to sacrifice our children, our way of life, and our world. We the people. Prayer said every single day in the OO. I'm imagining Oval Office, JFK, secret societies. Where we go one, we go all. So there you have it, folks. I mean, there's just some, if you go down, if you've read enough of these, you'll start getting the full picture. It's like, believe, have faith, public interest, keep high, UI, FBI informant. You can do, the tarmac meeting, build a timeline, Hillary Rodham Clinton investigation pivot points, JC dismiss letter. They're unraveling a plot, folks, that, Trump should be shot. Are you, that's what it says here on Q's post, that they unraveled, find 1 of 4. You are now working against those monitoring, raw only. They actually posted photos from the State of the Union. You can actually see this person's playing Candy Crush here, and it tells you, not the one playing Candy Crush. Center. You can click on that. You can do a little bit of zoom. See, I mean, you kind of, I'll let you look there for yourself for a second. And maybe even bring it in a little more for you. If you need to pause that, you can pause it. So, believe in the plan. There's all kinds of, why did the memo drop on a Friday and before the Super Bowl? Did this seem strange to you? Watch the news. We had the stock market crash, the Rothschild estate sale of Black Forest. Do a little, Google search on that. Stock market dive of 666 points. Coincidence? Yeah, that goes into some other things, Soros transfer of wealth, Dopey Freed, marriage of power and not love, Hilton Roth, Soros Clinton, etc. News unlocks map, think mirror, which team? They don't know. Apache, these are people are evil. Still don't believe in your sheep to them. 2020 coming. Public is vital. Release of info vital. Outrage, justice. Can we simply arrest the opposition without first exposing the truth? Follow the light. I'm telling you, folks, it's right here. Let's go over this one. Raw intel collection, narrative feeder, narrative collectors, and narrative distributors. So you have the people that feed, the people that collect it, and then the distributors. They're talking about some of these new agencies, folks. They got overseas accounts set up. There's money dropped. They're paying for, So raw intel collection, narrative feeder, narrative collectors, narrative distributors, leaks, classified, payments, foreign accounts, cash, spook files, hotels, blackmail. How do you retain freedom of the press if those in front of the camera, trusted by select viewers, are extensions of an arm? Freedom of the press is vital to retain. Trust the plan. There are a lot more good than bad. You, the people, need to remember how to play. You, the people, have the power. We strike every single day. We win every single day. Every single day they are being destroyed. Literally. Stay strong. Have faith. This is bigger than we can imagine. All right, folks. I'm going to leave it at that for right now. If there's any more drops today by Q, I will probably pop off another video. We got a few up here from, at 6:30 this morning, 6:14, 6:05, and 5:46. So, messed with the best, die like the rest. Highly classified clowns up, ops exposed. Remaining wizards and warlocks save the best for last. So, probably, here in the next few days, we're going to see some things. But I definitely tell you, this is a 714th post. That's where we're at, folks. We're going to go back. We're going to break down some of these other ones and more videos to come. Like I said, the Patriot Hour beta version, we're getting ready to go here this week with some other shows. Got a couple of buddies involved that are interested and going to be helping out. We need all the help we can get. I'm going to be setting up a, couple different things, couple different angles, and be more to come for sure, folks. Stay tuned. This is Michael from the Patriot Hour